Okay, guys. Whew. That was a rush. A lot of intuitive guessing. Yeah, was it intuitive guessing, or was it Jerry, was it intuitive guessing, or was it actual knowledge that you already had but you didn't trust yourself? But well done, that's good. Lily. All right, so shall we go through it? Let's go through it. Maybe see if I can actually, there we go. All right, so was that a yes or a no? Is it valid or not? I'll zoom in more.
Who the hell is Betty testing?
That's me. Is that valid or not, guys?
Should we do a name and shame?
Okay, well, I don't know what Chris wants me to do. She says that the link's not working. She emailed me. It is, I can't.
Okay, where's Chris?
Right.
Who's Chris?
Chris Armstrong. She emailed me, like, of all the ways to contact. Okay, valid. Yes, cool. Bananas. Okay, this one. Is it valid or not? Yeah, anyone else? Anyone say it's not? Anyone say it's not valid? We'll be doing lots of these over the next 2 weeks. Okay, so Paul, good question. Too many cycles. It's that the difference between being valid and too many cycles. There's this number of cycles is only an eliminator. It doesn't say it's not valid. It's valid in accordance with the 3 rules. So by you, so the question is it valid or not valid? It's yes or no. You use the number of cycles as an eliminator, not as a valid or not valid. Okay, they're two different things. Eliminator is you for the reasons we went through yesterday morning are the 2 reasons that you eliminate. Okay, high probability, all the so you've got valid, you've got high probability, and then you've got eliminators, right? So qualifier, that's a good point. Yes, it's a qualifier. I like that. Okay, so Bubbles, why do you say no? Did you say no? Why did you say no, Bubbles? Because you've got 1 cycle, 2 cycles, all that is inside that bar there, okay? And then there's 3 cycles. Don't worry about the size of the bars, because the thing, it's not like it went back sideways from here. It actually went down, so you've got 2 bars lower low, so you've definitely got a cycle there. You know, so you've got, and then we've got that spinning top there as well. Okay, so it's definitely valid. Next one. Is this valid? Anyone say it's valid? Anyone say it's not valid? Well, I would say it's definitely valid. Why would you say it's not valid, Matt? I would definitely say it is valid. Why would you say it's not? No, there's the one cycle, second cycle. That's not a cycle, Stuart. That's just sideways. Stu, as well, your comments are, can you just make all attendees as well? Cool, excellent. See what I'm saying, Stuart? That is, that's just sideways. That's not a cycle. So the way I see this is like this. Okay. We were talking about Aussie dollar this morning, weren't we? And we're saying like it was is it just more phase two profit taking and after a false phase one, because that's the large hedge funds wanting to create an opportunity to capitalize more on the run we've had over the past 3 so weeks, where you would actually have, that's what, that will actually create what looks like it could be a turn or a change in trend. It happened here as well, something similar for whatever reason. And the 20 did go slightly above, but in actual fact, price continued to downside. So if you look at, there's the apex, definitely trending to the downside. Look at the story the chart is telling you. What's BT mean? Am I being stupid? What's BT mean, Joran? But for me, it's 100% broken trend. So broken trend now. Where's the broken trend? To the downside. But that's okay. It's okay. Like somebody like Joran, and if he sees that as a broken trend, I'm okay with that. But people who have not managed to get a level of mastery, well, now I see it. Okay, so for people who haven't got a level of mastery on it, I don't want you overcomplicating it. And for me, definitely, this would be a setup to the downside for me, 100%, without a doubt. Joran has a level of mastery with this. He's been doing it for a couple of years. He is profitable with trading them. So I okay. Yeah, so if he will have his nuances in trading it. So there's the one cycle and there's the second cycle for me. Is that a small cycle? Yeah, it is, but it's still valid. That's not, because the EMAs are crossed, they've barely crossed over. That's not broken trend. You broke the broken trend, for example, Lynette, would be, there's the one cycle and there's another cycle. If this cycle went up here, it broke that trend. That's broken trend. The EMAs crossing over doesn't necessarily mean it's broken trend. Aussie dollar does that quite a bit. Where it like put the phase two is deep enough that actually pulls the 20 the opposite direction to the direction of the trend, but only just briefly. So and I won't necessarily trade on that cycle. Well, you can't trade on that cycle. I might want another cycle to demonstrate, to prove that it is going. I want another cycle. I want to make sure that it is definitely going in the direction of trend. So sometimes you can actually have a minuscule crossover on a previous cycle if that phase two is deep enough. Make sense? And by the way, you can blame Kevin because Kevin chose all these. So is that valid? Kevin's on a train back home, so he can't defend himself. But he was going to be running this, and Kevin selected all these. So yeah, definitely valid. Cool. What about this one? Hi, McLean. This one valid? Yep. Cool bananas. Anyone say it's not valid? Tiny, stop causing shit now. Cool bananas. What about this one? Anyone have anything to say about this one? Okay, this is an interesting one, and it is a bit it is a sort of a tricky one. For me, without a shadow of a doubt, it would not be valid. It depends on how you look at it, Michael. 100%. For me, it's not valid. Yeah, to me, if I just box that, it's be ranging, but you could be tricked into thinking there's two cycles. That's a good way of looking at it too, Anthony. Yeah, it's valid but not tradable. That's another way of looking at it. But for me, it's just ranging. It's this. It's a seesaw. Sorry, it's ranging. It's a seesaw. It's not trending. So so that is the type of thing I would avoid with a barge pole. Anthony, yeah, I agree. If you were to trade that, it would be somewhat more like a punt. Yeah. So I want the nice rain. Oh, sorry, I want a nice trend. See here, it's the 20 is like going up and down, like a seesaw. So no. What about this one? Is it valid? Yeah, no, it is. Yeah, correct. It's not valid because you don't want to be trading that. You've got a gap here. You don't want to be trading this to the short, to the downside when that gap's not closed. You know what I'm saying? You do not want to be trading that, and that's not an eliminator. That's uh, that is a fundamental because gaps generally get closed. So if the gap was sort of, if there was a gap down here, okay, if there was a gap down here, the price had gone back up, then it's okay to trade it. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Um, I don't know if I 100% agree with you, Anthony. Could be like there's a cycle, there's a cycle. There's just too much going on there. So you have a cycle here for sure, but then you've got this, and this. It's just messy, and then you've got a gap. It's just messy. So I don't know if even I would classify it as valid, but not take it. I think it's well, it doesn't have to close the gap, Bubbles. This is very important. It doesn't have to close the gap. Remember, we don't know, and there's no have tos in the market. The market can do what it actually wants. It's likely to close the gap. It's likely. Therefore, if there's a high likelihood of the gap being closed, we, by trying to trade it short, we would be gambling. Okay. What about this one? No, 100%. Definitely not. Anyone say it is? Anthony? Why not? Why not? Why is it not valid? Is that what you? What is that? What you're? It's not trend. It's not trending. Um, it, you know, the 20 is touching on the 50, and you risk going in for a long, depending on when you actually, you know, what happens with price action when you actually put pogo on. So That's the first thing. The second thing is it's more, I think it's one of those tricks. It's more of a range than it is actual trend. Cool. Okay, well, yeah, you can't see the EMAs too well. I can see them.
I can see them. Anthony, have you considered stronger glasses?
That was Paul.
Is that Paul? No.
All right, would you stop all bitching, all right? About the bloody 20. They can't see the 20. I can see the 20.
Get better glasses.
I can see 20. 20 is just pepped over the 50 here. Oh, for God's sake. Stop making excuses for not winning the pen. I can say, Joran, that's good. Well done. Joran, I think you should start flogging your glasses to our guys. Tiny coded things. Yeah, but I didn't code them. I could see them. Me and Phil agree. Awesome, Anthony. Awesome. Paul Gaines, as long as this doesn't go into the 65 pip debate. God, yeah. Very fair enough. Fair enough. All right, is this valid? We haven't covered that, have we? No. Is this valid? So for those who do not see the 20, it is, the 20 has just pipped above the 50. You're on all panelists, man. Come on, people need to see what you're saying. They probably didn't see your joke about you'd sell them glasses. All panelist attendees. You're on offer to sell everyone glasses. Okay, first of all, this is, would you agree that this is trending to the downside? Would you agree? Yes. Maro, would you agree that is trending to the downside?
For the moment.
I love you, Maro.
Yes or no?
It used to be Satish that used to get me pulling my hair out. Maro, for now, that's all I can ask of you is for now, okay? It is definitely trending to the downside. So we have one cycle here. That's really, yeah, I think it's of the same level. That's a cycle. You could call that a cycle, but you could also call it just going sideways because it's sort of inside those bars. But there's a cycle, so it didn't break that high, okay? And then there's a cycle, okay? I wouldn't touch it either. No, I agree with that, Mara, 100%. 100% I would agree with that. But I wouldn't touch it. But it's cycling to the downside. I think you said you would wait for a higher high further up, as far as I recall. But I agree with you, it's not valid, but it's certainly trending to the downside. But that phase two is so strong that it's actually put the 20 above the 50. Now you don't want to be going in, you want to be looking at it. You're not even going to put it on your watch list, are you? Because it's the EMA's in the wrong direction. It doesn't, the three rules are not met. Paul, it could be going for another, it could be going for a long, but you'd need 2 cycles. Okay, so in other words, that would need to break that high and then form a cycle, and then you would need another second cycle. Okay, that before you'd even consider. Cool. Right. I would wait for a higher high if going long and a second cycle. Now we agree, Mara. Great stuff. Brilliant. Maybe I misunderstood you. So cool bananas. Right. All right, here, this one. Where would you go in? Where will Pogo execute? 1, 2, or 3? Did everyone get this answer right, Tiny?
No.
So somebody got this answer.
Actually, 3 people got this answer wrong.
Okay, but
4 people.
it is interacting with the 20 yuan. Excuse me. So Paul, you thought it was 2. No, that is not correct. It needs to interact with the 20 for Pogo. Okay, price will interact with the 20 EMA for Pogo. This is on the 30-minute, guys. This is on the 30-minute. Tiny, you did not type out this question properly.
What did I say?
You said, where would Pogo execute? This is the 30-minute. Maybe that was more clarity.
Oh, well, Pogo only executes in the 30 minutes.
True.
Sorry, no. Question's correct. If I have to spell that out, then people don't understand strategy.
Okay, fair point. Tiny's made a fair point. It was clear, McLean. Okay, thank you for that.
No, clearly not. Anthony, why do you get it wrong then?
Don't mind, Tiny.
Anthony got it right.
Of course, Anthony got it right. All right, Paul Margits. Pogo will execute on interaction with the 20 on the 30-minute. So 3 is the correct answer there. Okay, some people seem to get stymied with this. No, I don't think so. Okay, so so you understand that it's on the 20. That's cool. Perfect. I can introduce you to somebody who I'm affiliated with, Joran. He does really good glasses. Okay, is this a high probability setup for Pogo on the 30-minute? Perfect. Excellent, guys. Well done. Well done. Well done. I'm really chuffed. That was the one I wanted to make Thank you, Tony. This is the one that I wanted to make sure that most of you really did get, or all of you did actually get, is that, by the way, Matt, do me a favor. Is Matt on? Matt, yes, you're. Hi. What was your code here? What was your code? What were you saying? TC or something like that. What was that? Close together. I was like thinking, what's that? Very clever. All right, yeah, they're sort of hugging, they're kissing each other, aren't they? So, and just going sideways. So it's sort of like a flip of a coin. Okay, Paul, brilliant, brilliant. And I promise you we're going to be doing this lots. Are you understood his code, Lily? That's awesome. Okay, did McLean get this one right?
I will check.
Tiny will check for you. Remember, McLean, Tiny is, he's put you in the bad books already. We're going to be doing this a lot during the tech intensive. So
that was question. So that was after the So no, McLean got it right. So no, it's not valid yet.
It's not valid. Yeah. Jerry, did Jerry get it right?
Jerry got it wrong.
Jerry, you got it wrong. Okay.
There's a few people that got it wrong.
Yeah. So the reason why it's not valid is that the EMAs are just going sideways. So let's say here, this is where Pogo would have executed here. Everyone agree with that? If we're going short, because if by me saying to you, that's where Pogo would have executed, you know that we're going short, don't you? Right? That stands to reason. So this is when you would have actually had the second alert, correct? You'd have seen price action going sideways. EMAs are hugging. Is that a high probability? Just one of those things you might want to consider. Is that a high probability? Because you can see here, you get pipped in and pipped out, but it does actually continue to the downside, but you have been pipped out because it's just gone sideways. I'll be doing lots of them over the tech intensive, Lily. Okay. So is this a high probability trade? And the answer is no. All right, is this a valid Bugsy setup? It pretty much is. It's not the absolute best, but it still is valid. Okay. Cool. Excellent. Well done. Here. It's ever so slightly. It's not. It's McLean. It's still very smooth. Okay. It's still very smooth. It's consistent. It's small bars. It's going down consistently. Price action sideways is not really. It is continuing to move lower, lower, lower. I didn't ask that, did I, Paul? I didn't say that. It may well not be a setup. I don't know on the 15. All I want to know is on the 4 hour, is it a setup? You're absolutely possibly correct.
With no price for you.
But that's not the question. The question is it a valid setup? Is it looking valid for a setup on the 4 hour? Okay. Cool. You don't see these charts these days, Mara. Oh, that's not true. We had some amazing. February was amazing for Bugsy, and all right, I think January was a bit shitty. Yeah, February was amazing. Yeah, lots of. So we're going to put yes there. Is this a valid? Yep. Yep. Cool. Excellent. Very good. Cool. What about this one? 100%. This is what, like, this setup, guys, pierce it into the cortex, into the core of your mind, because this is the most beautiful setup of all of them. This is absolutely, as Paul Gaines, absolutely correct, 100%. It is perfect because you've got that beautiful smooth run, you've got the gentle little pullbacks, and there you've got a beautiful low test. Ski slope, yeah, 100%.
Black man.
So, what does that mean? You don't like? You mean the previous
one?
The previous chart you're in? Is that what you meant? Yeah. The other thing is, guys, to bear in mind is that once you get a level of mastery on this, you'll be very clear on the type of setups that you'll take and types you don't take. Some people take, some people like, for example, that one pogo setup we saw, which is like where the net set a broken trend because the 20 went above, just pipped above the 50, but then continued the downside. That was massive cycles. Some people won't take those massive cycles. Some people prefer to take smaller cycles. I think, Lucia, you prefer to take smaller cycles, I think, as far as I recall. I don't know if it's still the same. But and some people don't like those big cycles, and it's okay. There's enough to cater for all tastes. Where would Bugsy execute?
On the 15-minute.
On the 15-minute. Thank you, Tiny. Bubbles, it executes on the 15-minute. Okay, so this is valid. Okay. What about that one? Yep. 100%. Good stuff. Brilliant. And this one. See, you guys didn't mix it up.
I deliberately didn't mix it up.
Okay, everyone happy with this one? Cool. That's easy. That's like, again, imprint this image into your mind. Okay, this is beautiful. Okay. And another one. What's this? This is I'm going to get the £25 voucher. I wish. Good, perfect. And how about this one? Okay, Anthony, I love interesting variation on a beauty is that one. Rather than the smooth style, it has lots of V, tiny V pullbacks. Yeah, because they're absolutely. So that tiny V pullbacks is very much like how pound yen and Swiss yen can be very often, and Aussie Kiwi can often be those tiny Vs. They're is really nice. The euros and sometimes dollar, tend to do the long straight runs, don't they? So so they're the two styles. The trick is how big is the V? So the previous image is like the gentle little V's. That's great, but is this one valid? Okay, 4 charts back. Okay, I can't go back. Okay, Paul, not sure. This one is, yeah, I would say categorically it is not, okay, for 2 reasons. One, it's a cycle, okay? And yeah, as Paul says, the 8 is beginning to curve. And as well, we don't have trend, right? And we don't have evidence that the currency, the instrument, is in momentum. There's so much going against this one. Okay, this is what I want you to bear that in mind, guys, for going forward. There's quite a lot going against it. It's not trending. There's no evidence of momentum apart from this brief bit here, which was largely formed by these bullish bars here. But and evident to that, the fact that there's no momentum is that there was a price correction on those big bull bars, right? Rather than momentum. Again, this is important in being able to allow the chart to tell you a story. So I look at this and I see range, no trend. I see a smooth 8, but that smooth 8 is being caused by obviously a fundamental. Look at the size of those 2 bars compared to everything else. It's caused by a fundamental, and therefore there's a price correction, because every time there's a fundamental announcement or news or whatever, there's always going to be a correction, profit taking. That's what that correct is. I shouldn't actually call it correction. It's not a correction. It's actually profit taking. So it's actually profit taking, and there's no evidence to me that there is momentum in that instrument. So that's the story that chart is telling me. So therefore, I wouldn't waste a second on it. It wouldn't even be a maybe, possibly could be. Does that make sense? This is the important reason why you need to be able to read the chart like a storybook. You need to let it tell you the story. The more you allow it to, there's no difference between, okay, here's 2 things I please, especially you learn to trade people. I want to ask you to please, I'm going to beg you, if I could get down on my knees, I would do. 2 things I want you to get out of your vocabulary. Okay, and I made the mistake myself. I get it. I've made it a couple of times. This fucking thing about fat fingers. There's no such thing as a fat finger. God's sake, if I hear another person say fat finger. There's no such thing as a fat frickin' finger, right? The other thing is Correction. There's no difference between correction. There is no thing about correction. There's nothing. Lily, that's not an attack on you. That was me. I'm more angry at me for having said that myself. Okay. All right. Apart from not on your hands. Okay. In trading, there's no such thing as a fat finger. I don't know where that came from. I don't know why I hear people saying it, because everything is cause and effect. Everything is deliberate when it comes to trading. It's not fat finger. Okay. Oh, Joran, I've heard so many people say, oh, when you get these fat finger events, what fucking fat finger event? Yeah, it's like, really? Fat fingers in marrow, fat fingers. People say fat fingers. Somebody actually said it yesterday as well. Anyway. All right. Just, that's good. If you've never heard it, that's good. Erase it from your sphere of awareness, okay? If he was here now, I would strangle him. I would throttle him. But he's not the only one, Paul. He's not the only one. Other people who are here have said it too, okay? I want you to erase it, because everything in the market is deliberate. Everything, okay? It's deliberate. So, I wanted to get rid of that. So it's not a correction, Lily. That wasn't an attack on you. Please do not. I was angry at myself for having said it. Okay. It's not correction. It's profit taking. So there's no difference. Okay, Anthony, the best one I've heard for a yen flash crash at Learn to Trade about 3 years ago was they were playing mini basketball on the trading floor. And the ball hit the sell button, wiped millions off the yen. Right. Okay. I don't know who was pulling whose leg there, but anyway. Okay, these things don't happen, guys. Okay, they're true story. These things don't happen. You can get a. All right, there might be incidences where an EA is not tested properly or something like that. But it's not going to go to the point where it's going to make a significant impact on the chart. It's not, because there will be safety measures built in. Okay, but there's no accidental fat fingers. I mean, that's just horseshit, as Tiny says. Okay, so let's move away from the word correction. I will, Lily. I won't use it again. So profit taking correction. When I was using the word correction, I was referring to profit taking. But by me using the word correction mean there was something wrong in the first place. There's nothing wrong in the first place. So I should not have used that word. It would have been wise had I not used it. So it's profit taking. So when you get fundamental momentum, that is, there's always going to be profit taking. And rather than it being momentum driven by the instrument, demand for the instrument. Okay, does that make sense to everybody? Absolutely. So Michael's made a very good point. Profit taking makes much more sense, and you can use that in your judgments. Excuse me. Yeah, 100%. When you start calling it what it is, and that's a really good point, when you start calling it what it is, profit taking. And when you know that the market has responded to a fundamental, the reason why it's responded to a fundamental is to make money. So once the fundamental has had its impact, people are going to want to cash in. And what's that going to cause? It's going to cause that phase two or a pullback. See what I'm saying? So this is all part of actually reading the chart like a storybook. This is to your question earlier, McLean, isn't it? We talked about this early this morning about false phase twos, false phase ones. you can't, there's always real profit taking, but sometimes what does happen is the guys who are moving a lot of money, excuse me, sorry, the guys that are moving a lot of money, they have really, they've been selling, like for example, say Aussie yen. They've been selling over the past couple of weeks, and they now want to take profit, and they take profit, everyone else takes profit, right? So that's what we call, that's what causes the phase two. So, but they haven't got as much as they want, so they'll start selling again and trick everyone else into selling again. And then they'll say, oh, we want to take more money. So they're taking more money. Okay, that's their way of actually maximizing what they can take out of the money. They can do that. We can't do that. We do not have the volume to be able to do that. We wouldn't have a blip, right? Not even the hair.
On a dog's ass.
Not even the hair on the ass of the flea on the dog's ass would we be. Okay. Could be, yeah. Michael, it should help me take profits earlier before the market makes me. Yeah, like it's wise just to read the market as it is. So I mean, the only thing, what was getting me yesterday morning, for example, when we were looking at the clear profit taking that started on Friday, which then put an end to all the pogo setups that there were for the previous 2 weeks and created pogo setup. Sorry, put an end to all the Bugsy setups the last 2 weeks, created a pogo setup. What would have been in my mind was, given the extent of that movement in phase one, is the market or are the movers in the market happy with the extent of the profit they've taken? Because if you remember yesterday, I was saying I'm not too sure. I think I'm going to leave it for a while. I'm not sure. And almost all of them, you might have been able to squeeze a 1-to-1, but quite a few of them actually would have pipped you out and then went deeper. Does that make sense to everybody? That's just reading the chart, understanding human psychology, understanding human behavior, and reading the story the chart is telling you. Cool. Excellent. Thank you, Patricia. Anybody else? Okay. No one else? Does that make sense to everybody or not? Have I confused everybody else? Cool. Brilliant. Brilliant. Awesome. Right. Cool. Right. So that's not valid. You know that. Cool. What about this one? Is this valid? Interesting. Yeah, that's very interesting. Interesting and interesting range of responses from yes, no, maybe. Yeah, it's a challenging one, isn't it? It is a challenging one. I'll be honest with you, and I'm going to say I think we labeled it as no. So that's one of the ones that Kevin put down as no. But it's not as nice as some of the others, is it? So the price action is good. See the price action, like a nice high test. Low test, sorry, nice low test. It's just that there's a bunch there that I don't like. It's too bunched here. So it's like a bunch of flowers. Okay, it's very bunched. Whereas I like them spread out. I like the bars spread out. Yeah, pretty much agree with you there, Maro. I don't like the type of bars, some big, some small. You can still get it right though. Oh my gosh, I could have written that answer, Maro. Well done. 100%. 100%. I agree with you. It's very bunched. It's sort of stop going, and there's always better, as Paul Gaines says, there's always better Bugsy setups. And I think that would stop me from taking it, is the fact that it gives me pause for thought, right? That's the first thing. The moment I'm pause for thought, I think, oh, but the moment you got pause for thought, that should be also a indicator that you could be second guessing it. Write that down. Anytime you're looking at a chart and you've got pause for thought, is that a thing? Pause for thought. Is that how you say it? Yeah. Every time you got pause for thought, you see something, that is an opportunity where you can start second guessing yourself. So I'd rather avoid it. Okay. Yeah, too bunched sounds good. Cool. FOMO could kick in if you're not disciplined. It could very much, yeah, because it does look on the surface a really nice setup, doesn't it? But yet it would definitely give you pause for thought, and you would start second guessing and then right saying it. And we want to stay away from that. FOMO is definitely an issue, but the thing is, the more you understand that the more you lean into the fact that there are always plenty of opportunities, and especially Bugsy, okay, that ideally would help you let go of the FOMO. Yeah, pause indeed. Yeah, good point, Anthony. So Anthony says that I recognize this kind of setup as one I'd jump into without thinking, but conscious competence says stay out. Yeah, I think that's good. All right. And is this a valid Bugsy? Nope, exactly. For a whole host of reasons. Cool. Where's the trend? No trend. And you've got a cycle. And the EMA, the 8 EMA has curved. So 100%. Awesome. Could become a pogo, but it could become a pogo. It not really. Would you, if that price went back to that 20, would you take that as a pogo, Mara? Wait, you'd have to wait for a second cycle and trend. Okay. What about that one? Is that valid? Nope. Cool. It's not. For this, absolutely not. Cool. Okay, this one. Where will Bugsy execute? Two. Excellent. Perfect. Correct. Oh, good. Everyone knows Bugsy. I think people prefer Bugsy to Pogo. Okay, so that's it. Did I? This is like, did I get all my answers right? I got one wrong. What one did I get wrong? What one did I get wrong?
It could be the calculation.
Okay. Great. Could you review the ballot Bugsies that interact with 8 with no phase 2? Everyone should get a pen apart from McLean. All right, Paul, could you review ballot Bugsies that interact with the 8 with no phase 2? We don't need a phase 2 pullback on an extended push. Oh my gosh, I don't know. That sounds too complicated. Paul, could you review the valid Bugsies that interacted with the 8 with no phase 2? Pullback on an extended push, phase 1. Give me an example. What do you want me to look at? Give me an actual example, because like that's like Where would I go? So give me an example. What must I look at, Paul? Because where do I even start with that? Okay.
Geez, the 22 is the full marks. I've tried maybe 23.
Okay.
That's 22 out of 22.
So it's so Tiny made a mistake. It's 22 out of 22. So if anyone got 22, you got full marks.
Don't worry, no one got 22 apart from Judy, who wins the Amazon voucher.
Who got 22?
Nobody got 22.
Oh.
The highest was 21.
Who got? I tell you, I didn't see these. Kevin did this last night. Kevin did this. I didn't actually see this, and Kevin finished it at about. What time did Kevin finish it?
Oh, he took fucking.
About 8 o'clock last night. Tiny was cooking dinner. Kevin finished at 8 o'clock last night. And as Tiny was cooking dinner, he was setting up the type form. I had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, as Tiny was cooking dinner, Tiny was setting up the type form.
Yeah, well, I did say that.
Yeah, we made it sound like I might have been Kevin.
No, Tiny was doing the type form.
So I made the little 23. So Judy, you got full marks.
I got full marks.
And no one else got full marks.
Oh, come on, guys.
And then someone got 21, but I think that he has an unfair advantage, so
Why?
we have to exclude him.
Why?
Because.
Who is it that got 21? Hold on, guys. Who got 21?
No, we have to exclude him.
All right, who's next? I will tell you who got 21 in a minute.
Who's next? Well, then there were three people tied at 20.
And who are they?
They are Andre Chart,
Andre!
Jerry Sam.
Oh my God!
And this one probably was a mistake. I'm not calling this person's name.
Oh no, come on.
No. I will not say Paul Gaines.
Excellent. Okay, so here's the rundown. I got number 1. Yee-hee! Okay. Number 2 was, I'm really sorry. This is going to break my heart, but.
Yes. I think we should disqualify him.
It's going to break my heart because you deserve it, but also we should actually disqualify you. Who do you think it is? Who got the one after me?
Nope.
It was Joran. Joran, you got 21. Well done.
21 out of 22. It's not bad.
Yeah. Well done. The other 3 was Andre,
Jerry, and Paul Gaines. So
okay.
Jerry Sam, Andre Chart, and Paul Gaines. Followed closely by. Cookie. Andre. Tony.
Tony, yeah.
So Tony, Andre, Lily.
Which Andre?
Andre Fulton. Andre.
Oh, Andre. Sorry.
So Tony, Andre, Lily, and Matt all got 19.
Okay. All right.
Very close.
Very close. Okay. So how should we do this? Put people's name in a hat.
Well, you're in one.
You're in one.
We can put everyone else's name in a hat for another prize.
So who got 80% or more? Whoever got 80% or more. I know he's a coach. I know. Put glasses in the hat. Okay, so what we're going to do, I'm going to answer questions. Whoever got over 80%, your name is going to go into a hat. Okay, except except me, of course, and we'll put it into a hat, and then we'll draw a winner. Should we do that? I know, fair play to Joran. I know. But I think Joran, you would agree with me on this, wouldn't you? You would agree with me on this. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So everyone who got 18 and above is going into a hat, apart from Joran.
Everyone who got 18 and above, apart from Joran, is going into a hat. Okay. Anthony says 80% equals 19 or more.
Of 22. So 22 times.
I'm going to leave that up to Tiny. I want to get on to questions.
22 times 0.8.
18 is good. 18 is good. Patricia says 18 is good. So Patricia probably got 18.
It's 17.6. So should we add the 17s in?
Add the 17s in. Okay, we're adding the 17s in, okay?
That reduces everyone's chances massively.
All right. Everyone took part in it, and that's the important thing.
Should we
So
add everyone into it? Okay, so shall we leaving your own out? Is your own happy with being?
yeah, no, Joran's happy. No, it can't be 23, Anthony, because there are only 22 questions. Tiny put in the word 23 by mistake. It should be 22 out of 22.
Yeah, the max is 22, Anthony. It was my mistake on the answer form.
Yeah, so the max is 22. So, okay. All right, guys. I'm going to stop screen sharing this. Was that useful? Did you enjoy that? I'm exhausted. Don't know how you guys are.
So we have to take Matthew out as well. This is a coach.
Yeah, Matt, we have to take you out as well. Is that okay? That was great. All right, cool. Glad you enjoyed that. We will do more of that, definitely. I can think that's a really great way of learning, isn't it? And what I'm actually going to do, it is a great way of learning, Paul, absolutely. What I'm actually going to do, I think, instead of doing just, is this a valid setup, is it not a valid setup, I want to actually do, maybe introduce a little bit of storytelling as well. So see if I can think of ways in which, Maro, this is what I'm talking about right now. Can I increase the difficulty a notch?
Hold on. If we're increasing the difficulty, then people should be getting in the higher numbers. But yeah, we can increase the difficulty.
Mara, this level is good for prizes. Okay, so I don't know if I can increase the difficulty level or not much, Mara, because the rules are very simple for Bogo and Bugsy. They're very, very easy. Tamsin, you've been bloody quiet.
Yeah, and Tamsin didn't even fill in the form. Why didn't you guys do the form?
So, it's so simple. So I can't make it more simple than it is.
You can give more tricky setups.
I can do more tricky setups. I can.
Okay, but Jude, but here's the thing. There's only, not everybody took part. Okay. So Tamsin and Mara didn't take part.
Mara, did you not take part? Okay, so what's the thing? You were going to say something.
The thing is, people need to take part.
Oh, okay. Anyway, so I can increase the difficulty a little bit, but what I'm thinking of doing is, like, if I can do it in a way that makes it quizable without leaving it open for you guys to write whole tomes, so I can actually, do a yes or no answer, I will do it. But what I'm thinking of doing is looking at creative ways of, if this is the 4 hour, would you take this of the 30-minute sort of thing, like maybe introducing 2 pictures, the 4 hour and the 30-minute. So making it a bit more complex like that. Oh, you're working, Lisha. Okay. So does that make sense? What?
Tamsin's saying, can she do it now? You can do it now, Tamsin, but the thing's done. But no, do it.
It's always good to do. You'll get your result nonetheless. All right. I want to go through questions.
Of course, Tamsin, it's still up, so go for it.
Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, no, just definitely just do it, Tamsin.
If you didn't do it, guys, just do it anyway.
It's in the Pogo Traders. It's going to stay up. All right, so I want to go to questions. I think that's the next thing on the agenda, is it not? Paul Dyson, I trust you are looking for a example of what it is you want me to talk you through with the okay, so we have, it is almost 10 to 1 now, so we've got about 40 minutes for questions. Okay. Okay. Anyone, is there a way to look back at one we did? Okay, Cheryl, is there a way to look back on one we did? I don't understand. Could you just elaborate on that slightly? On one we did. What does that mean? I see. To look back at the answers you got? Can they do that? Is that what you mean, Cheryl? I don't know the answer to that question.
What's the question? I'm focusing on.
Yeah, is there a way that they could look back at? No.
I could maybe set something up for future quizzes to email them their results.
Yeah, future quizzes, we can set it up that it emails you. Okay, so we'll do that. But you get your personal scores anyway, Lily, don't you? You'd have seen what you got.
Yeah, right at the end.
At the end, you'd have seen what you got. Yeah, okay, Ruth's question, good question. Good question. Which one you got wrong? Okay, well, I'll bear that in mind. Okay, Lily. So I'm not sure if this will do that. I can't recall.
Yeah, we can look at that.
More about seeing where you went wrong. Okay, let me have a look at. Let me pass that over. Here's the rugby ball. Over to Tiny. So let him look at that and see if that's something that he can.
You got the first two Bugsies wrong, Lily.
Surely they can get their results emailed.
I'm not in. I'll have a look and see what I can do. Yeah.
We'll see what we can do. Okay. Ruth, I was answering your question. When looking at when looking at Bugsy setups, if the bar that is touching the 8 EMA is red, but properly steep, is that a valid setup? It doesn't matter whether it's a bear bar or bull bar. I pay no heed to that, Ruth. So whether if it's long or short, if it's a long and it's a bear bar or a bull bar, it doesn't matter as long as all the other conditions are met. Okay, Paul Dyson, have you found that an example as yet? What you were talking about. All right, so I'm trying to see how I can answer yesterday's question. Jerry, you need to get more confidence in yourself because you're getting all these answers right. Okay, you just need more confidence. Okay, you did very well. So the question from I'm going to challenge you, Paul, to find me a chart, okay, and ask me a question on a chart. For me to go back over all the examples, I don't have them on my computer. They're not on my computer. I'd have to go through that whole quiz again in order to find it. And you can't because you can't tell me which one. I don't have time to do that. So go and find an actual setup and ask me to take a look at it, and then I'll be able to answer that question. That makes sense. So, Jerry, your question was, I'm not entirely sure as to why we would use measuring the pips. Okay, so the reason why you would use them is that you don't want price going, what have you done for my computer?
I've done not.
Let's have a look here now. Okay, let's look at this pogo set. Excuse me, this pogo setup here.
Just a quick one. Paul, you can go through the quiz again and then identify which number the question was, and then we can look at that.
So Paul, not Paul, Jerry, your question was, why do we need to consider the measure the pips? Okay, so the reason is that often, occasionally what happens, I should rather say, is you get your first alert, you get a second alert, and there's your second alert. We got the first alert. We saw here on the 4 hour, we've got the first alert. We get the second alert when the EMA cross over. And sometimes the price just continues down, 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 down. And eventually the EA will remove itself, won't it? After 4 hours, it removes itself. So you put it on now when you get your second alert. And sometimes, let's assume this hasn't crossed over here and it just continued down here. So each one of these bars is 30 minutes. So by the time it's got down here, it will have expired. So therefore, it would have removed itself from the chart. You will get an alert to say Pogo has expired. Okay, so it's removed itself. Then what you would be wise to do is go back to the chart, have a look at price action on the 4 hour, and see if you're still happy to put Pogo back on, right? One of the reasons why you would not put Pogo back on is that it has moved far too much into phase one for it to remain a high probability setup. Okay, that is why we measure. That's why we measure from the apex of phase two down to where it's got to before it actually it still won't have interacted, down to where it's got to. And if it's gone to 65 pips or thereabouts, a rule of thumb, okay, you will get a feel for it depending on instruments. So if it's a rule of thumb, that's 65 pips. If it's gone more than that, because we're only looking at 30 pips, that's all we're looking at to get a one-to-one. It's gone more than 65, and that's just the way it's been tested, back tested for donkey's years. If it's gone more than 65, that becomes a low probability. With pound crosses and Kiwi crosses, though, my rule of thumb is a 90-95. There is one other reason why you would not, there is another reason, it's not just one. There is another reason why you wouldn't put Pogo back on, and that is if it has broken the previous low. And I'll show you what I mean by that. If price has got below this low, and it still had not interacted with the 20 on the 30 minutes. So in other words, the EMAs have crossed over and price has just kept going, hasn't pulled back to interact with 20. It has broken the low on the 4 hour. You do not want to be in it. That's the time, rather than putting Pogo back on, that's the time you put Pogo Alerter on. Okay. So is that clear? Okay, I'm assuming that's clear. Okay, for Bugsy, another question that came through. For Bugsy, do we look for momentum on the 4 hour and not the 30 minute? Okay.
How do you answer that one?
Yeah. Where's the flaw here? For Bugsy, do we just look for momentum on the 4 hour and not the 30 minute? Exactly, that's the flaw. It's true. For Bugsy, I think what you meant was, for Bugsy, do we look for momentum on the 4 hour and not the 15 minute? Okay, because Bugsy's the 15 minute, but only the 4 hour is correct. Yes, we don't care what's going on in the 15 minute. All you need to know is the 8 and 20 in the opposite direction, and we place the Bugsy. Okay, next question. In the Bugsy session today, we didn't cover points of elimination. Can we cover this, please? You know what? I don't have elimination, Steve, for Bugsy. I don't have it. There isn't a process for that for me. It's either a setup or it's not. It's got to be trending. It's got to have momentum. It's got to have a smooth 8 EMA. That's it. I don't have a process of elimination. Given market volatility and big bars, are there particular features for Bugsy setups should be looking for? Okay, so typically under normal circumstances, I don't like to trade Bugsy on the big bars, but right now, when we're saying big bars, because they are big bars, and that big bar might be 30 pips or so, right? But right now, a big 30 pip bar is tiny. right now because of the extent of the volatility. So my approach is trade as always with that. I've looked over the past 2 weeks, and at the moment, my my approach is trade as always. What about the fees? If the big buys does cause if the big buy, I keep saying that does cause, if the big buys do actually create, that's better, if the big buys do actually create a V, then avoid it, then it's no longer a setup. At the moment, yes, Paul, the size of the bars, because of the volatility, the size of the bars are small, and still lots of pips in them compared to normal. So huge, yeah, completely. Okay, the next question. What criteria are you vetting brokers, given the experience of Fixie in these uncertain terms? Right, okay. Only 2 brokers that I work with, and that is Active Trades and Infinox. Not only have I done my own due diligence in terms of me being happy with them, but and they are FCA regulated, that's most importantly, therefore covered with compensation by FSCS, as was Fixie. But what Infinox and Active Trades have is a additional assurance underwritten by the London market. London market is the most reputable insurance brokers system in the world. Both of them are underwritten by the London market. Okay, Active Trades have a higher level of insurance, £1 million. I think Infinox is 500,000. I think the Bahamas one has $1 million. Infinox UK is 500,000. Active Trades for Bahamas and UK is $1 million. So I think that's pretty safe to go. But that said, do not ever take my word for it. You've also got to do your due diligence. It's got to be something that you're comfortable with. Okay. One of the things you heard Active Trade Ricardo from Active Trades say yesterday, that they're doing their best business ever. Okay. Okay. Next question. Okay, why are not all take profits being the terminal? We haven't got around to that one, Patricia. That's it. There were no more questions. So everybody understands everything. Anyone want me to look at anything else before we continue? Hell yeah. What does hell yeah mean, Paul Gaines? Okay, so, okay, what is tiny? Understand everything. That is brilliant.
Good. So we expect hundreds of thousands of pounds you're going to make over the next few days.
That is brilliant. No worries. You understand more than you think, Jerry. I promise you. I promise you, you do. You trust yourself more. I think you need to trust yourself more. Okay, so Patricia, is there a reason for sorry, Patricia, as in a reason for looking at additional broker? I don't really understand that.
I was just saying, are there any issues with Infinox? So are there any issues with Infinox?
No. No issues with Infinox at all. None. But I actually none whatsoever. I have no reason to at all. Otherwise, I wouldn't be asking Raz on this afternoon. Okay, so I had no issues with Infinox that I'm aware of. I just love working with the guys at Active Trades. Love. Their customer service is incredible. They have more of our ethos. And that's what I like. They're customer focused. They care about their customers. I think they are passionate about their customers and their reputation. So I like Infox, they're great. We've had lunch with the guys, you know, they're great people, love them, and I can't fault them. Some people have said they're frustrating with customer service, and I've heard a few people say that. And they don't have that edge that active trades have, in my opinion. And that's why we're going into a longer term relationship with Tiny, is sort of they're working and creating this platform and ultimately an app for placing Pogo and Bugsy. So that's where we're headed. You guys didn't hear that. The guys who were not at the boot camp don't know that. But essentially, Tiny's working on creating an app and a platform, so we don't have to use MT4. So, yeah. You could, couldn't you, Matt? You could absolutely 100% hear that and see that in Ricardo yesterday. So I have.
So there's 2 other questions. I don't know if you've got them. I was busy cutting up this paper. Can you explain scaling in more?
Okay.
And when you scale in, you open a new chart to place the trade.
Yeah. Yes. So yes, open a new chart to place the trade. Now let me go to the chart now. So
Tamsin says, don't quiz, love it, but yes, please have more questions with different time frames.
What did you get, Tamsin? I can find out.
Yeah, I'll go up first.
All right.
Name and shame, that's the name of the game.
Yeah, we got no pride here. Lynette's question was explain scaling in. And Michael's question was...
What? She only got 3. Tamsin, no.
Oh. Tony, you're mean.
I know.
You're mean.
I know. She got 19. She would have been in the draw if.
Oh wow, Tamsin! Well bloody done. That's excellent. That's awesome. So
I added a email to it, but it doesn't work retrospectively. I'm going to just test it to see if it's working. So if guys wanted to take the test again.
Okay.
No, it can go, but let me first test it.
Did you guys hear that? Hopefully you heard that. Tiny has added email, so you can do it again. He's just testing it now.
Yeah, before they do anything.
Don't do anything yet. Just don't rush. All right. I want to try and demonstrate Lynette. Okay, so bear with me a sec. So, oops. Okay, I'm just demonstrating. This is not a good setup, okay? Because why? Bang. Okay, we're going to assume price. We're going to assume it's likely the price will come back and close that gap. In this case, it did not. But likelihood is that it does. And I think you guys have been with me for long enough. I've been saying it from day dot, and we've seen it time and time again. It does not always, but the likelihood is high. But I just want to demonstrate something. So let's say you see that as a Bugsy, and you go in on that. As soon as you place the Bugsy, put Bugsy alerter back on. All right, as soon as you place it. Then you get your next alert, and then you then go to your chart, and if your first trade has closed from this one, and your second one is still running, you can then put another Bugsy on. And yes, you would have to open a new chart, Michael. So let's open the 15-minute. Let's actually have a look and see what it would actually look like.
Just if anyone's interested, I just did the quiz and I scored 4 marks.
Okay. All right. So this is the first instance. Everyone got me on that one. And this is where the trade would have executed. Actually, that's fine. This is where the trade would have executed. Okay, so in this case, you'd have got a 1-to-1 at close because the second one closed because it went back to break even. But let's pretend that it didn't. So it's where it executed and it went up here, and you're using Trade Manager and it's still running, you're still running. But your first trade is closed from back here. You get a second alert to place Bugsy, and you want to go in on this opportunity here. All right, so what you do is you pull on Bugsy, or you use the, what is it, Alt B. Allow scaling in is defaulted to false. You're going to have to say true. The reason why Tiny has set that in is a safety measure, because in case for any reason your VPS does not close down properly, it doesn't do config files, something like that, config files, or doesn't write config files, and it then reopens and it opens with Pogo or Bugsy back in your chart again, it will limit how many trades will open. So it is a protective measure. So you have to have that set to true. Remove if price interacts with the 20 EMA. That's not on the new one, is it, Tiny? All right, forget that one. You guys don't have that.
What do you mean?
Never mind. Shh. So you got to set that to true. Okay, you've got to set the allow scaling into true. And then you do whatever you want to do down here, but definitely you want to be moving that out before actual placing, clicking OK. And that will allow you to go into this trade. Okay, in order for you to go into this trade, then you would need to have that extra trade closed. Does that make sense? Let's see. Is there any questions on that, Tony? Can you just check?
This doesn't say true or false. Okay, you're obviously showing them the old version.
What does it say?
My scaling in doesn't say a tar. It says 1, 2. I mean, I'm assuming that means say that. It says 1, 2, or 3. Yeah, that's the later version. The one that you got in the demo is the older version. I didn't update that yet. So yeah, so basically it's scaling the first time, the second, or the third time. Where would the stop on the scaled in trade? Could you measure that, please? From Patricia. Where would the stop be on the scaled in trade?
It's the same.
It's the same thing, yeah.
Patricia, it's the same. It's identical.
Okay, and then there's a question about the scaling 1, 2, 3. You want to just answer that quickly?
Yeah.
Okay, guys, the scaling in, the original one had true or false, so I'm scaling in or I'm not scaling in. The new one, or the more modern one, I can't remember when I released it, has got scaling 1, 2, or 3. Okay, so when you're scaling in the first time, you use 1. If you're scaling in a second time, you use 2. And if you're scaling in a third time, you use 3. Okay, that's pretty much how you use it.
The stop loss would be the same for every one of them. No, you don't. You just ignore it for your first trade.
Yeah, Anthony, you're not scaling in on the first trade.
Yeah. Yeah. So just ignore that for your first trade. It's only if you're going in. So you've got an Aussie USD CAD open. You're scaling into USD CAD. That's the time you would set it to 1. Yeah, correct. And if you're scaling in a second time, you set it to 2.
Yeah. Because obviously what happens, guys, when you scale in, you want your first trade to be closed. So your first set of trades, you want trade 1 to be closed, trade 2 at break even, then you would look at scaling in. Okay. And then if you are scaling in a second time, you will have more trades open. Do you need to open new charts? Yes.
Didn't I say that?
Yeah, Mara's just asked it again.
Yeah, you'd have to open a new chart because remember, you can only have one EA on at a time. I suppose. Yeah.
It's just open a new chart. It doesn't cost you anything.
New chart. So you're opening a brand new chart. So you'll have then 2 USD CAD charts open. the one with your original trade on, and the other one with your scaled in trade. So, and that's, you pull Pogo or Bugsy onto that, you select one, and Bob's your uncle. And then if you're doing it again, a third time, when you're doing it a second time, you open a third USD CAD chart, you put it in, and you select 2.
Okay. Guys, remember, your view of the trading world is the chart. Okay. As a trader, that's what you see. The EA uses the underlying information. So it's purely for you guys to make it easier that you don't get confused and overwrite things, put it onto the wrong thing. When you put an EA on, always open a new chart. Okay. All right. Cheryl, do you run Trade Manager and scaling at the same time? Okay, I just want to bump this one on the head. A lot of people get confused by Trade Manager and scaling in. And it's probably not what you're doing, Cheryl, but I know a lot of people do, so I'm just going to take the opportunity. Trade Manager and scaling in are 2 totally different things. All right. Scaling in is simply entering a new position onto a symbol that you've already entered a position on. That's placing another trade. It allows you to place another trade on the same symbol. Trade Manager manages trades, all trades. So yes, if you're using the all trade option on Trade Manager, and you put another trade on and you're scaling in and you set your take profit far away, it will manage that as well. But it's not, there's no interdependency between the 2. Yep. So the first time you use it, you apply 1.
Yeah, that's right. Anthony, I repeat the question time for people watching recordings. So the old version said allow scale in, and we select true for the future possibility, but now it's new chart, apply scale in 1, 2, 3. It's always been a new chart.
Yeah, it's always a new chart.
Yeah,
it's a new version of the Trade Manager of the Bugsy and Pogo, which came out with the option to scale in 1, 2, or 3 times. I originally allowed scaling in once, and that was the true or false. Then people said, oh, but we want to scale in more times. So then I've put in 1, 2, and 3 to allow that.
Yeah. So
you always had to select true. So when you put a defaulted to false, when you pulled it on, it would just assume it was the first time it has been placed, and it wouldn't then try place trades if trades existed. Then when it went to, yeah, okay. So don't worry about what it was, just worry about what it is. Okay, so if you want to scale in, select 1. If you're scaling in again on the same pair, select 2. And if you're scaling in again on the same pair, and remember, this is once the trades are placed, you select 3.
Cool, excellent. I like, Michael, what you said, scaling in when trend is strong, you get more from it, and then use Trade Manager to rinse it.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. All right, is everyone clear on that now? Remember, the recordings from today will be in our search facility as well by tomorrow, because I have to be honest with you, I am going to take a degas this afternoon and go for a long walk.
That's our formal exercise period.
So definitely by tomorrow, the recordings will be up. I will make a page for all the recordings on one page, or in your members area.
That's for the tech intensive people only.
And then it will be today's recordings will be in the members area, Pogo members area. We can put it in there.
Well, it's in the search already.
It's in the search.
Yeah, so it's in the search.
In the search, yeah.
So we're not going to go and add a specific. It's in the search.
So by tomorrow you'll be able to search. So if you search tomorrow scaling in, every time we spoke about scaling in today, you'll get a list, and you can click on any one of those lists, and it'll take you to the various times in which we spoke about it today. All right. If you want to look at what Tiny said about Trade Manager today, you can just type in keyword Trade Manager, and it will take you to each time we spoke about Trade Manager, including me saying it right now. All right. Cool.
You done?
Yeah. Any other questions, guys, before we do the afternoon?
What's next on the list? Oh,
It's the
Yeah,
live
you've got
stream
to watch this, don't you?
watch list. One exercise per day. That'll be our one exercise per day. So Patricia, are you working from home now? Oh, I just wanted to make something clear. I started off at some point earlier today on a bit of a rant about this being a great time to build financial resilience, to build money online, and all this sort of stuff. Anthony, what's price action again? So this is a really good time. I knew you were kidding. I knew you were kidding, Anthony. I did. It's a really good time. I just want to say, everybody in the club, you do know you are by default a member of the Wealth Building with Judy V. You do know that, don't you? By being in the club, you are in that. Okay. So it's something. It's something I added in as an additional bonus for people in the club, and it is something that I believe you need to be capitalizing on now. Okay. If it appeals to you, if it's something that does appeal to you, it's the facility now, and I'm going in every day at the moment. And the reason why I'm doing it is because it's a place that we can actually keep each other focused and make sure that we're taking actual steps every single day towards building it what we want, to capitalize on this time rather than being pulled down by this time. It's Wealth Building with Judy V. Ruth, I said I would tag you in it. You are in that group already. So I will tag you in it. Okay, I'll make a note and tag you, and I'll give you I'll post the link and I'll tag you in. It's in Facebook. Okay, a group in Facebook, and we go on every day at 7 p.m.
Okay. Do you want to take a break before you do the live stream? Like 10 minutes and do it off.
Okay, so we're going to do the live stream. I will tag you as well, Steve. No worries. Anyone else want tagged in the group? I'm going to take a 10-minute break. Is that okay? Michael Frederick. Okay, let me write these people down. Michael, Steve, C, Ruth. Anyone else? Okay, cool. Shall we take a 9-minute break, and then we'll do...
Just leave the call open.
I'm going to leave it open.
Yeah, just put on your timer.
Oops. My timer?
Yeah.
What
Share
time?
screen. So
Sounds
basically just go to your timer.
Shush, I'm getting there. Give me a minute. Open it up, yeah.
Mute yourself.
Where's the timer?
So you go to timer.
Okay, hold on. All right, guys, I'm going to be on. I'll put a timer on, and I'll catch you in a few minutes. Yep. Okay. So here we are back. It's been a long day, isn't it? Is everyone tired? I'm eating jelly babies. All right. I love jelly babies too. Oh my gosh. Michael, love them. Absolutely love them. Tiny actually has to hide them from me sometimes. Yep, it's my favorite color too. Yeah, they are great. I love this red one. I love the red one. Okay. Is everyone back? Let us do the Cheryl. You know what? Next time we do something like this, I'm going to ask you to do me a favor. I'm going to ask you to do us all a favor. I am brutally bad with taking breaks. I just keep going. I just keep going, and it drives Tiny to dementia. Demented, whatever. Drives him insane. But I just keep going, and I expect everyone else around me to do the same. And it's a flaw I have. It's not healthy. It's not good. And I think what we should do is take more breaks. I think that would be wise. Tiny, you need to do that.
I totally agree.
And Cheryl, I want to ask you to shout it out now and again and say, time for a break. All right, next time, will you do that? Be our consistent break taker, because I'm so bad at it, so bad at it. But it's wrong. We need to be able to take breaks. We need to clear our mind. Absolutely, Cheryl, the official break monitor. It is hard. It's hard going for everybody, not just me. And it's like, but I'm brutal at that. I just keep going and anyway, be that as it may, it's one of my major flaws, actually. I think it's always because I'm feeling like I'm always running out of time. Okay, let us see what we have got in the market this afternoon. Okay, so remember we said this morning would be interesting to see what would happen here, and it hasn't hit the 50 yet, Aussie USD. I'm still happy to keep Pogo Alerter on that. Okay, McLean, if you're still on, that is what I mean potentially by a false phase one here. So you've got this massive sell, like from way back up here, but really specifically from here, it's a lot of pips. 1,120 or thereabouts, perhaps. So there's phase two. This was the profit taking, and then it was a false phase one. Right, this is when we would have got into Pogo. I think you would have got a 1-to-1 on this, but just scraped a 1-to-1 literally, where the movers in the market, what they call the whales, large hedge funds and stuff, potentially did a bit of a dump for people to be thinking that, all right, we're back into phase one, it's safe, only then to do a massive sell-off and create price to go back. So they had more opportunity to sell and to buy up. Okay, so that's potentially a false phase one. It's not yet proven because we don't know which way that's going to go. It looks like it's certainly, nobody really knows. I think because of this, no one really knows what the intention is here, what's going on. So hence it's consolidating. Everything I'm telling you here is all part of the storytelling in the chart. We don't know. It could be phase one. There's consolidating. No one really knows what to do here. Okay, somebody needs to have the courage to start the run, to start the race. Okay, obviously the only people who can do that are the big movers. And if this heads off down south again, shorting again, that'll certainly be what that is. If, however, it turns to the upside, then it was a different reason. But I'm at the moment happy to put Bugsy Pogo Alerter, not Bugsy, Pogo Alerter on this. The EMAs are well apart, so it'll be a while before we actually get the second alert on this. Euro, dollar, Pogo Alerter. Cable, and no, I'm leaving. That's now goes sideways, isn't it? So we leave cable. Kiwi dollar, pretty much the same. Happy to keep that on. Same as Aussie dollar. Happy to keep that on. USD CAD, nothing going on there. USD Swiss, Pogo Alerter. Some nice price action there, indicating that could be the end of phase two. USD Yen. We have Pogo Alerter. Let's keep Pogo Alerter on that. It's still going sideways. Let's see what it looks like. It's just consolidating. Let's see, keep Pogo Alerter on. And when it does interact, let's see if it's created a decent cycle. But I'm definitely wanting a decent cycle here, not just more of this sideways. So if this continues sideways and the 20 comes up to meet it, I'm not interested in it. I actually want a decent cycle. But I'll keep Pogo Alerter on it. All right, nothing on Euro AUD or Euro CAD. Nothing on Euro Swiss. Nothing on Euro Pound or Euro Kiwi. You know, like here, it could be similar to Aussie dollar, but I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to keep it out of it. Pound Oz, nothing. Pound CAD. That's a nice move on Pound CAD, jeez. Pound Swiss, nothing. Pound Kiwi, nothing. Okay, so again, this is different. This like I was explaining this morning, guys. Aussie dollar, similar. I mean, you got this incredible sell-off down to here. That's 141 pips or thereabouts. And there's a phase two. Is that a false phase one, or is that a turnaround in trend? It has broken that high. It is not respected. It's not respected the 50, but it is consolidating here, isn't it? So we'll keep and see what happens on that tomorrow. Okay, nothing on CAD yen, nothing on Swiss yen, Euro yen, nothing. Pound yen, nothing. I guess this respecting the 50. That could again be a false phase one. Just get rid of these. Nothing on Kiwi yen or Aussie CAD or Aussie Swiss. This is an interesting one, actually. There's a false phase. You know what? Depending on, and I know some of you will disagree with this, and that's okay. But there's from what I'm seeing, I'm wondering, is that like a little sort of like trick? False phase phase one. And you see here, it's like the price action is respecting the 50 and it's consolidating. I know this did actually trigger yesterday. Should we put Pogo Alerter on it? I'm going to put Pogo Alerter on it. Okay, done. Aussie Kiwi, nothing, is it? No, I don't like it now. Nothing on CAD Swiss, nothing on Kiwi CAD, Kiwi Swiss. It's very much the same as Aussie Swiss, isn't it? It is very much the same. I am going to put Pogo Alerter on it. For the same reason I'm putting it on Aussie Swiss. Oh, and we have a cycle on USD Singapore dollar. So now we're waiting for the second alert. So we have Pogo Alerter on USD Singapore dollar. Let's have a look at gold. So gold is coming back up. Okay, so we have only Pogo Alerters, no Bugsies, well, Bugsy Alerters, Aussie dollar, Euro dollar, Kiwi dollar, USD Swiss, USD Yen, USD Singapore dollar. So a lot of USDs there, guys. Aussie Swiss, Kiwi Swiss. So a lot of Swiss and USD. Any questions? Let's get rid of that. Any questions? Go on. Okay, no questions. That was easy. One more time, Pogo Alerters. Joran, what does that mean?
Repeat the Pogo Alerters.
Ah, sorry. Oh, my apologies. So AUD USD, Euro USD, Kiwi dollar, USD Swiss, USD Yen, USD Singapore dollar, Aussie Swiss, and Kiwi Swiss. Cool. Okay, we have like almost 15 minutes before we get Raz on from Infinox. Anything anyone wants me to cover in the meantime? Or is everyone's ass hurting at this point? Mine is. It's sitting so much for the past couple of days. Okay, anyone? Is there anything outstanding that I haven't addressed? We've covered a lot of material over the past couple of days. Everyone clear on their trade plan, what they're going to do with their trade plan? Is everyone clear on that? Yep. Brilliant. I've got nothing more to say.
I think Raz will be on shortly.
Oh, you did your trade plan last week. That's brilliant. Okay, well, can you do a clear trade plan then? Do the trade plan program, Ruth. You've got access to it. And you've got the template. So there's no reason for you not to be able to do a trade plan now. Okay. Is everyone clear on the timetable? You should have your spreadsheets as well. Your trade journals to be able to give me your trades. Matt, the timetable was displayed yesterday. I sent you the time. We talked about the timetable yesterday. It will also go into the members area. Remember, we're starting to track your trades from now. We went in detail on the dates yesterday at 10 o'clock. I even remember what time. Yeah, no, yeah, it is interesting, Patricia, but just, and I know you will do this, put it in context. It's not often you will see that. Very rarely will you see that. That's why I wasn't surprised to see it when you've got that much of a run, that much of a trend with so many, and you've got that much of a strength of trend. Like for example, in Aussie yen, you got massive selling of Aussie and buying of yen. You're going to expect a decent phase two, aren't you? You're going to expect like it's going to be commensurate with the extent of the it's going to be commensurate with the extent of the phase one. But and when you have an event like we have right now, like this unforeseen event and something that we can't really comprehend, get our head around, this is the time when the massive movers in the market are capitalizing because they have the resources to capitalize. So expect the unexpected. Okay, so when you see like you see a massive run, you see a phase two, it's appropriate that you ask yourself, well, is that it? Is everyone happy with that sell-off? Is everyone happy with that extent of profit taking? So that's it really, it's only really under extreme circumstances so you're going to get at that. So therefore, I don't want you to get into a habit of always questioning yourself, well, is this a false phase one, right? Because it will very rarely happen. I really want everyone to understand that, okay? It will very rarely happen. Because understand it in context with human psychology, understand it with human behavior, because what we've had happen over the recent weeks is unusual. It's never happened before. I mean, what we've experienced never happened. And always know that during those times is when the people with resources are capitalizing. All right. So that's on the macro level. People with resources are capitalizing. It's the exact same as us individually with resources. This is the time for us to capitalize. Just because you might not have a trading account of 25 billion or 19 million or whatever it is, right? Like some of these guys, we were queuing in the shop a few days ago. It was hilarious. We were queuing in a shop at Waitrose a few days ago. The day I did the Facebook Live, was it last Thursday, I think it was, when we went out to get shop, when we realized, hold on a second, we're going to go into lockdown. We're not going to the States because we were depleting our food sources here because we were going to the States tomorrow. And realized, oh shit, we need to get some food. And the queue was a mile long. Anyway, standing there, the guy behind us, he worked for a hedge fund. And he was talking about how little dollars there is in the market for him to buy. And he was like bitching and moaning and there's no liquidity and all this. And I'm looking at him thinking, like, I didn't know, Tiny and him were chatting. And then I sort of came in on the conversation. I'm looking at him thinking, is he on the same planet as I'm on? Anyway, it turned out that, for his trades, you're like talking about 15 million or 20 million. It's a different, it's a different world to what we're doing. But what they're doing is capitalizing on the opportunity because they have the resources and using their resources, and we can do the same on our level. It doesn't
Scale.
on
our scale.
On our scale. It's no different. It's no different. So does that make sense? Why do I have Pergolota on USD Swiss? Let me take a look at that, Jerry. Why would I not have it on USD Swiss, Jerry? Tell me why I would not have it. Can everyone else see why I would have Pogo Alerter on USD Swiss? I can't see the quiz. Everyone coming in?
Yeah, people are saying sure, yes, yes, yes.
This is very annoying. When I go to my VPS, I can't get the.
Mr. Sam says it's actually not sure.
Hold on. I want to see that question. You're not sure? Okay. You've got trend. EMAs are in order. They're going to the upside. You agreed with that? You got one cycle. Now it's okay that the first cycle is before the EMA crossover. Okay, so you've got it's definitely you got a cycle there, right? The first cycle can be before you get the EMA crossover. That's fine. Then you could see that as a cycle. I get it right. And you could see that as a cycle. Then up to here and here. So far you've got 3 cycles on that trend. Prices interacted with the 20, therefore.
You may have heard that we have a Wi-Fi network. We reached out to one hospital, saying, look, we've got some excess bikes. Do you think any of your...
So I've just moved Raz. Does that make sense, Jerry? Okay, cool. Excellent. You see it. Okay, cool. Excellent. So
cutting you off here at this point, we're out of time. Very good to see you, and Neil Clifford too. Thanks to you. You've been watching In King Live. There's lots more on the business pages of the Sky News website. The Dow Jones currently up 6 points on that throughout the afternoon here on Sky News. Do stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Cheerio.
Okay, so we got a snap of Sky News. Raz, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can indeed. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm very good. Thank you. Yourself?
I'm great.
Do you want me to come on video as well, or?
Yeah. Give me a second. Every time I do this thing, I forget how to do it. Hold on. Oops, cancel. I don't want to mute you. Allow panelists to start video. There we go. You should be able to start video now. Hello. How's it?
Hiya.
Good. So you're working from home too now as well, yes?
Yeah, we've been working from home since, when was it? Let me have a look. So since Friday the 13th.
An auspicious day.
Oh, okay. So it's been a while for you. Okay.
Yeah, so so then we decided probably 80% of the office to work from home. And as of last Friday, everyone is working from home, because obviously we could have anticipated this the situation getting worse. So, with financial risk, we just want to make sure that everyone is able to do their jobs and have access to all the systems from home smoothly.
Cool.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, let me introduce you. Guys, this is Raz from Infonox.
Hi, guys.
What is your official title, Raz, at Infonox?
I head up the retail sales desk for UK and Europe. So, yeah, that's it pretty much. Sales.
Excellent. And Raz has been on with us before. He's done a webinar with us before, so which I trust many of you were at and also listened to. So, Raz, I really appreciate you taking time from your day and spending it with us. We're just finishing a 2-day sort of online summit And also a lot of the time was spent on looking at how we can adjust our strategies and our approach to trading to deal with this current time. Now, how I'm framing it, this what we're experiencing right now is a black swan event. I'm pretty sure that as we go through it, it'll retrospectively be seen as a black swan event because none of us have seen anything like it before in our lifetime. So yeah, it's going to be quite interesting. So the question I would love to ask you is, how would you suggest traders trade during this time?
At the moment, I'd probably say be very cautious. In terms of the markets that you trade, FX seems to be in a good market state at the moment. There is liquidity, plenty of liquidity in the markets. The things that I would probably be more wary of is the volatility spikes throughout the day. This can happen on, I mean, pretty much all the currency pairs, but obviously cable, Euro, USD, you may experience, big spikes of volatility and lack of liquidity at different times of the day, especially around when the countries announce their cases, whether there's an increase. Well, there is an increase in pretty much all the countries at the moment, and deaths as well. And obviously the pound from the UK release. But yeah, apart from that, indices, as you probably are aware at the moment, a lot of them are on either limit up or limit down. What that means is in the US, they classify as a circuit breaker. So they're just measures imposed by the securities commissions over there. When the index falls or goes up above 5%, I think, or either 7%, they will stop trading. So usually this tends to happen even pre-market. So that obviously the futures outside of the market hours, the CFDs on indices are still priced. So when the futures have halted trading, then you won't be able to trade it on the platform. Again, this affects any broker, anyone that can give you a price on that market. So just be very cautious at the moment on these instruments because they can have very high spreads, even if you are trading them. At the moment, just having a look, so US markets are placed on a limit up, but European ones have not stopped since forever because they just don't have these circuit breakers in place. Gold has been the topic today. Again, not many brokers will offer you a price, or they will just disable trading because the spread has just increased hugely. I think at one point it was about $20, which is massive. The reason for that is because all the interbank liquidity providers, as well as a number of non-bank and ECM venues, have an issue with the futures gold market. The reason for that is simply at the moment they are taking a risk on an implied basis, skewing prices to try and attract flow to reduce the risk. Basically, what's happened is that the USD funding squeeze has put significant pressures on the liquidity providers who are generally short basis. Refineries in Switzerland have also shut down, and physical delivery of COMEX gold has been nearly impossible because of flight restrictions. So pretty much making it a lot harder to physically deliver bullion to cover the shorts. So ultimately we are not expecting pricing and liquidity to resume to more normal levels for a number of days. But yeah, that has been the talk of the markets today. Gold is, this has just happened today on the gold. So again, my advice would be just be very cautious, try to stay away as much as possible, or just, if you do really want to trade it, just if possible, if trading is enabled, just trade very small volume and manage your risk, because the last thing to do is obviously you go into a position and you're down £1,000 before you even seen the market move. But again, we are, we're here to help you guys and manage things accordingly. But yeah, just be very cautious in any trade that you go in, because it can swing one way or another very quickly. And sometimes you need to have enough margin in your account. And what can happen, and what we've seen happen a lot of the time, is people go in with a big amount of money on a trade. Market goes against them, and then pretty much on, let's say, on a 4 hour or after 6 hours, the markets bounce back up in their favor. But because of not having enough margin in their account and overexposure, then they'll be stopped out. So just be very cautious in terms of volume.
I don't think that would be too much of an issue with the guys here, in that we just trade Forex at the moment. So that's pretty safe. We're avoiding gold, have been for a while. And definitely the management, risk management is high priority amongst the type traders. So the interesting thing is, though, the one thing that I've noticed, and we've spent 2 days going through all the market setups over the past number of weeks for our strategies, our two strategies. It's interesting that despite this craziness going on, that by and large, a lot of the technical and a lot of the technicals are remaining the same. So, for example, we trade using just price action and moving averages.
Yeah.
The behavior in the charts are still the same as even outside of this crazy time.
Yeah.
And that's comforting. The only difference is there's a hell of a lot of volatility. So where a candlestick would typically might only usually have like 12 to 15 to 19 pips in it, they're like 50, 60, 100 pips in them.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
That's really the only difference. So it's comforting, and it helps to bring some level of certainty in an environment where we have a lot of uncertainty. It's comforting to see that the technicals are still reliable to a point.
Yeah, they are to a point, and it goes back to what I said earlier. It's all to do with the volume that you trade, because even if we look at the FX markets, although they haven't, they've been alright in terms of trading, the spreads have increased. Cable yesterday was down, I think about, what was it, 200 pips initially, and now it's back trading at 1.1746 now. So again, that's a 200 pip swing in a day. Now, obviously, if you're caught offside during that first phase, and you don't have enough margin in the account, or you're over leveraged, and then this will happen on a day-by-day basis. You will see markets go against you, and then you think, "Oh, I'm out," and then the next day you'll see it will bounce back up in your favor, because obviously the technicals, they stay the same on certain time frames. Initially, they may not, because of just the crazy swings that happen throughout the day. Yeah.
So so obviously the one thing that is, you already said it, is that volatility will affect spread.
Yeah.
And we can expect, typically, we expect rollover time to have sort of an increase in spread, whereas now we could expect spread swings during the course of the day as well.
Yeah.
So one of the questions that I'm asked quite a bit at the moment,
yeah,
is that how will brokers survive at the moment? Are they a high risk to fold? It's a question, and I think a lot of our clients, they were with Fixie, so it's when Fixie folders. So I think that's sort of on the forefront of people's minds. So do you have anything to say about that?
So I mean, from our perspective, we're in a very good financial position. Volatility ultimately means opportunity for people. So a lot of people that will be staying at home, they'll be looking for opportunities in the markets that they haven't previously done because they haven't had the time. People will trade. So we've seen a very good increase in volume from the clients. In terms of ourselves, again, we've taken precautionary measures from 2 weeks back to what's going to happen now to ensure that clients still get a good level of service. We are not at risk with any overexposures that we may have as a broker. But again, it's during these market conditions, it's about, you know, finding the right opportunities and making sure that the clients still receive a smooth experience in terms of the trading. Ultimately, you know, some people will make money, some people will lose money.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is at the moment, for one reason or another. Once again, this is why risk management comes into play significantly, not just for the clients, but for us as a broker. Okay,
Right.
so we have measures in place that you know, they're imposed by us, but also liquidity providers, to make sure that we keep in a good financial state. And yeah, I can ultimately say that, you know, the client's safety of funds is at the pinnacle of our business ethos, and that will not be affected. And again, the current situation, we are in a very financial healthy situation. So yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And aside from that as well, I remind the guys that there's also added insurance as well. So
Of course. So, you know, God forbid anything bad would happen, you know, the client money is still segregated. You know, it's protected by the FSCS protection for up to £85,000. Clients who have money above that, we've also got a separate insurance policy with the Lloyd's of London that will cover for up to £500,000 per account in case of broker insolvency. Once again, we do have a lot of clients trading with, you know, smaller amount of money, but we do also have big institutional clients who trades with £500,000, £1 million in their accounts. And, you know, these things are quite important. During these times, I would say the most important thing is client money safety. You know, you don't want to be with a broker where they slow down your payment process, no matter what. And this is why, you know, we've put these measures in place 2 weeks ago, because for us to be able to process payments, I don't work in the finance department or the support department, but we wanted to make sure that, you know, even though we're not in an office, we're still there available to assist clients and still processing payments very quickly, withdrawals, deposits, anything that the clients need.
Cool, excellent. And so from Infonox's perspective,
yeah,
your take on it, if I could just sum up what you're saying, your take on it is that in the forex market there is liquidity. It does range. There's volatility, but there are still opportunities to.
Yes. Again, it's with that volatility, there would not be any opportunities. If the price doesn't move one direction or another, there will not be any opportunities. So this is why, again, in the past few weeks, or even a couple of months since this uncertainty started going on, a lot of our clients and a lot of clients generally in the world have got a lot more time on their hands.
Yes.
And, you know, they're looking to take advantage of these opportunities in the best way possible. With good risk management, you know, you can potentially make quite a lot of money.
Absolutely.
You know, if the market's, you know, if you catch a market on side and goes your way, even initially, even if you're trading, let's say, I don't know, 0.1 of a lot on GBP USD, and the market moves for you, let's say 200, that's within 10 minutes, 200 pips, you would have made $200.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So again, on the flip side, goes against you, then you lose $200. But next day, if you can hold that position, you know, it could again bounce back up in your favor.
Yes, completely, totally.
So a lot of people are looking to bank up on these opportunities, and this is why we you know, a lot of people are trading actively at the moment, and it's good for us, good for them. They're receiving a good experience, and
I think we are so fortunate to be trading in this time. I really do. And I think this is also a very good opportunity to to refine your trading abilities, so to refine your mindset around trading as well. Because if you can trade through this and trade successfully through this,
Yeah.
you get through the other end, it's just going to be incredible.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, people that do trade, they understand that this is ultimately an opportunity for them, because you have a lot, spending more time analyzing certain aspects of your own trading. Even if you do make some bad decisions, you have a lot more time to analyze what you've done wrong.
Yeah.
And then next time you go in, your trading would have improved naturally, because the more you do something, the better you'll become at it. And pretty much everyone does have jobs, and especially now, not many people are working. And I would probably say, even if you're just fairly new to the markets, it's a great opportunity to start learning and dip your toes into and to get going.
Yeah, completely. Awesome. Does anyone have any questions for Raz, or has he answered all of your questions? The questions I sort of asked you was a summary of what I was getting from people.
Yeah.
So anything.
I'm gonna have a look on the chat, see if I can. I don't use Zoom much, but
Yeah. So anybody got any questions? I can't see anything in particular.
Yeah, if anyone's got any questions at the moment, feel free to fire one at me.
So the next question then, Raz,
Yeah.
is what's the dead cert trade I can put on right now? I want to guarantee.
Hold on. The answer is there. Red for short.
Red for short. Red for short. I like it. Right. The other question is, how can I get an Infinox t-shirt?
How can you get an Infinox t-shirt? At the moment, this is my only one, but we've had quite a few initially. We've ordered loads, but because of the supplier was actually based in China, a large there pretty much means a small here. So a lot of them didn't end up being able to fit anyone in the office. So yeah, we've had to obviously switch suppliers, because as you probably imagine, when you order something online, like anything, it tends to usually come in the wrong size depending on the country that you order from.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's actually funny seeing you in a t-shirt, because I've only seen you and Sam in like suit trousers and shirts and tie.
Yeah, no. At the minute it's a very, I'm quite enjoying it. I was quite enjoying the time off up until they've shut the gym, because you can be quite productive throughout the day, and then now you have to just look at doing different things, like going for a walk, which I wouldn't normally do.
Yeah.
Or I don't know, just go and do some exercise in the garden, or just go for a drive. Yesterday I just went for a drive for about an hour, just driving around the town and listening to some music, clearing my head. And I think that's quite important at the moment, to find different things to do. Don't overspend too much time in front of your computer. And yeah, personally, I've ordered a PlayStation, which got delivered today. So that will keep me busy all the evenings.
So Raz, are you telling us to bugger off so you can go play your PlayStation?
No, it's fine. I haven't set it up yet. Set it up a bit later on. But yeah, even that, it just makes you think, do things that you haven't done before much. I mean, I haven't played it in a couple of years, but things like this, you want to keep occupied, and not just with one thing repetitive. You got, keep your mind occupied with different things.
Absolutely. And if, like you say, the gym's closed, and if you're used to going to the gym, it's important to think, well, what else you can do. Don't just succumb to that. So, because we need to get movement as much as the market needs movement. So do we need movement.
Yeah, exactly. And it's very important, because we are going to be stuck at home for the next 3 weeks, because obviously people made made the wrong decisions this weekend, like going to the park, going to the beach.
Yeah.
But again, it is what it is. We just need to accept the situation and move on.
Yeah, and I think Michael, your question, it sounds like you think we're in it for the long term, but I think even 3 weeks is a long time. And 3 weeks is a long time.
I would say that's the short term.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's the short term, because you can see what's going on in Italy at the moment. We are not quite at that stage, and this is why this lockdown was put in place yesterday to stop us from getting to that stage. Whether that will happen over the next 3 weeks, personally, I don't think so, but it could, it could improve. But yeah, I think it's a good decision by the government, very precautious. But again, it's just a lot of people think that this virus, and even myself initially, you was cracking jokes around it. Oh, it's only a flu. Until the other day when I saw a video of this lady that was in hospital on a breathing machine, and she was fairly young. And she was, don't mess around, guys. And people need to understand is that you can have it and be asymptomatic, which means that you don't experience any symptoms. A lot of these footballers that have come online and said, yeah, I've got it, they haven't got any symptoms. So what you could do is you could go into a public space, be close to 10 people, spread it to 10 people, and then ultimately they'll spread it to another 10 people, and so the chain goes on. And then ultimately, some people may not be as lucky as the ones that have not got any symptoms. They will start having symptoms. So this is why it's very dangerous, because you can't actually see it.
Yeah, one of the reasons, and one of the things that I've been talking about over the past couple of days with the tribe is, and you brought up the footballers, they are asymptomatic, and a couple of the reasons for that is, one, they're fit, healthy, and two, they are doing what inspires them. They're highly inspired by what they're doing, and they're well rewarded financially for that.
Yeah.
So the more you maintain in that space, the more you maintain, self-care, inspiration, and focus.
Yeah.
Rather than lowering your immune system into panic and fear, you will protect yourself. But not only will you protect yourself, you protect your family as well.
Yeah, and this is why people should be looking at trading as a positive, because a lot of people won't understand is that, okay, we are going to get over the virus, but what is going to be the economical state after it?
Yeah.
Most economists will say it's going to be another recession. It looks like it, certainly. And the governments can only do so much to support everyone, but at the moment the economy is not in a good state, so people need to look at opportunities like these to start generating a bit of money where they can do. And especially now, because if you worked in a restaurant, if you worked in an office before, it doesn't matter where you worked, pretty much, unless you work for the NHS or Tesco's at the minute, you're going to be stuck at home. So use the time wisely to learn to do different things.
Yeah. And master the skill of trading, because you'll have that. Once you master the skill of trading, you've got it for life.
Yeah.
And you grow your wealth for life. So, yeah,
exactly. And again, don't be scared of making bad decisions in trading, because as long as you learn from it, and right now, it's a great opportunity to learn from every single factor. And everything that you do when you do trade.
Yeah. Okay, so Michael's got a question. Does the oil price still affect USD CAD and other currency?
Yes, everything is interrelatable at the minute. The dollar has looked pretty steady over the last period of time. I'm not sure why, but again, it can have a knock-on effect from anything. What happened to gold today? This has impacted the currencies, because people can't buy gold anymore, so they'll look at buying into currencies.
Yeah.
And what drives the market is, not people like me and you that are trading. It's big hedge funds, big companies with a lot of money. And oil, what happened at OPEC? It's what happened at OPEC. I wouldn't say that will have a huge impact on the currency markets, because oil is driven purely by supply and demand ultimately. Price is so low at the minute, I'll probably say it will not have any impact on the currencies. Gold would, and stock markets would, because it just, the health of particular economy will give you an indication on the currency of what that economy is trading on. But again, you know, we are looking at another recession. Markets have dipped significantly, and even if you look at people that have been trading FX, what, you know, people that are trading the stock markets now, they're looking at, if they're fully invested in the stock markets, you know, they're down 30-40%.
Yep.
So,
And then again, that money has to go somewhere, and it will going into Forex, and Forex will always be there.
exactly. But this is the beauty of being able to trade Forex and being able to trade indices on a short side, because you can make money on the way down. You know, if you're fully invested in stocks and shares or cash products, bonds, whatever you have, it, bank products, it will either go one way or another. So you won't be able to make money on the way down. But this is a good way to hedge your positions. If you do have big positions in the stock markets, you can hedge them. And ultimately, this is the beauty of trading CFDs.
100%. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Then one last question. McLean would like to know what your tattoo means.
That is it. Yeah. So here it says, strong dollar, short.
That was brilliant.
Short the Dow, short the FTSE. No, I'm joking.
Okay, that was brilliant. Well done.
But look, guys,
sorry.
unless you have any other questions, let me know. I would probably recommend, if any of you guys are looking to get in touch with us in terms of any questions that you may have, try to go onto our website. We have a live chat function. So at the bottom right of the website, if you do have any questions, that is probably the quickest method of contacting us, because we do receive phone calls, but it's only a limited amount of people that can pick them up.
Right.
So
okay.
Anything that you wanna know very quickly, go onto the live chat function. There is always someone there. There's a lot of people there that have access to it, and they'll be able to assist you in the best way possible.
Perfect. Raz, really appreciate your time. Thank you so much
No problem.
For joining us today, really. And yeah, and thank you for all your support as well. And
no problem, guys.
Look forward to another lunch as well.
Yeah, me too. When I think it's not going to happen for another few months. A lot of people are moaning about their holidays and stuff, and I'm like, well, you know, by the looks of it, when this is going to be over, not a lot of people have money for holidays anymore. So this is what you have to be careful about. All right.
Yeah. Cool bananas. All right, Raz.
All right, guys.
Nice afternoon.
Pleasure. Good to speak to you guys. Bye now.
Bye. Bye. Cool bananas, guys. Okay. Excellent. That was great. All right. I just saw your question, McLean. Is in this volatility, what's the best instruments to trade? It'll be the majors. It'll be the majors that we do all the time. That'll be the best instruments to trade. So I wouldn't go off into any of the other ones that you're not used to trading. Okay. So I would say, you know, the normal watch list range of instruments, that would be the best. The best is the ones that you know. And as we've seen, you know, they're still respecting the technicals. They're still respecting the 20, still respecting the 8. And, you know, just as long as you're able to read the story. All right. All right. There's just one more thing to do, guys, before we pack this whole thing up. Who wants to win the voucher? Who wants to win the voucher? So, whoa. Okay, Tiny will, Tiny with closed eyes will pick the winner. Come on.
Alrighty. And the winner is Tiny for Niku. Fancy that.
Oh, well done. Bloody hell. You are the silent one. You seriously are. You didn't even say you got a score. You didn't tell us your score. Do you want to know who it is? It is Ruth. Well done, Ruth. You get the £25 Amazon voucher. Well done, Ruth. Go, Ruth. That was wonderful. That was excellent. You were very silent. You didn't tell us what you got. Okay. All right, guys. That's about it. Now, the trade report
The
been?
trade report is in the Skype group.
It's in the Skype
The
group.
Tech Intensive Skype group, and
Well done, Ruth.
it's in the membership site. I will be adding everybody to the membership site later on today.
Okay, so everyone that's in the full Tech Intensive, Tiny will be adding you to the membership site later on today. The spreadsheet has been Skyped in the Skype group. It's been Skyped to you. We will be doing weekly catch-up, weekly state of the markets. Okay. You will only need to be submitting your trades every 2 weeks. The timetable will be in your members area as well. We will do huddles as well, which will be important. The other thing is I will look at, let's look at bringing the book club back in for the next few months. Should we do that? Yeah, that's about it. I trust you found the past couple of days useful, beneficial, and timeous as well, and enjoyed it, most importantly.
Yeah, and if anyone who isn't in the Tech Intensive wants to join,
Yeah, and if you're not in the Tech Intensive, you want to join, you're more than welcome to join.
let us know.
Yeah, let us know. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Lily. Thanks, Michael. Thank you, Patricia. I think we learned a lot. Okay. I hope you made lots of notes. As I said, definitely by tomorrow, the recordings from today will be in the search facility. Yesterday, Tiny's already put it in the search in your members area. So any of the topics we covered yesterday, you just need to use the keywords. Okay. The same with today. It will be, by tomorrow, it'll be there. And also, as part of Tech Intensive, we'll do lots of more of these quizzes as well. Okay.
Yeah, and guys, the future quizzes, I will put emails at the end of them. If you want to take the quiz again, if you want to take the quiz again, it will return your results to you. It will email you now, but it won't do it post previous ones.
Retrospective.
Retrospective.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. It's been wonderful spending the past 2 days with you. And take care. Remember, let nothing distract you from your vision. And remember, fill your day with high priority actions. Okay? Be mindful of what you're putting your focus on. Okay? Stick to your agenda. Stick to your vision. Take an action now more than ever. What it is that's high priority for you, not the virus, not government, not society, but you. Okay. Okay, guys, take care. Lots of love.